Welcome to the Crappie Anglers of Texas, and we got some unusual business to take care of too. But before we do that, do we have any visitors tonight that aren't members that are here for the first time? A visitor. Thank you for coming. Usually we invite visitors. It's open, public meeting for anybody that's interested in that. By chance, are you the person that called me today?
No, I talked to Paul.
Okay, you talked to Paul. I had someone call me from the paper, a little ad, and I'm just trying to keep track of how people find out about us and everything. But I'm glad you could join us. How about any new members that are at their first meeting here tonight? Okay, good. Hey. By the way, the new member is Al and his wife Sharon. Is that what? Sharon Vogel, and they're interested in becoming a sponsor. And Al, do you want to stand up for 30 seconds and tell us what you do? So.
Well, I've never talked for 30 seconds in my life, so just
time's up.
So just tell me to sit down. This is my wife Sharon. I own Big Al's Texas Rubs, barbecue rubs and seasonings. When I first opened up, I would tell people that I had Big Al's Texas Rubs, and some people would come up and ask me what kind of masseuse I am. So I had to put the barbecue rubs and seasonings underneath that. We've got 4 seasonings: original, mesquite, hickory, and hell from Texas. And we're coming out with our fish fry, both regular and hot, and the chili mix, both regular and hot. So we really appreciate being here, and we look forward to being associated with Crappie Anglers of Texas. Thank you.
Okay, Paul, you ready to do your seminar?
Yes, sir.
You want to do the Lake of the Pines, or do you want to do the seminar first?
I'd rather talk about Lake of the Pines first.
Okay, do it.
Yeah, let's
I called down there and reserved the pavilion at Johnson Boat Ramp, Johnson Creek Boat Ramp. It's a privately owned boat ramp. You can put in there, it costs $3 to unload there. It costs $3 at Alley Creek, and I'll show you on this map where it's at. But there's a nice pavilion, it's got nice bathrooms, it's real. We had it turned a couple of years ago there, and they had the weigh in there. Johnson Creek is right here. They got a nice pavilion. We plan to have everything done in that pavilion. There's bathrooms right beside it. There's a boat ramp right here. Johnson Creek is a good creek to fish. It's got a lot of brush piles in it. Don't have a whole lot of standing timber in it. It's pretty much open.
So it's east of the bridge, Paul? It's going to be pavilion is east of the bridge on the marina side?
Yeah.
Yes.
South of the bridge. I don't know how that lake actually runs. This is crooked to me, about like Cedar Creek.
Yeah, across, cat corner across.
But this lake, the south wind gets to rolling, and it gets rolling. So do remember that. So look at the forecast, and you go down there Friday and you say, all right, there's no wind today, but tomorrow's supposed to blow 25. You better find you a place over here to fish, because you will not fish none of this. I promise. I've been there. But up in here, you'd be protected in this cove, past that bridge right there. There's a lot of brush piles in here. First time I ever went down there, we did some trolling in there and caught a bunch of fish. Alley Creek is a good creek. It's got a lot of standing timber in it, but it's only 5 or 6 foot deep. But there is a lot of timber in it. When you make this corner, if you come from here and you're going to go into Alley Creek, do not cut that corner right there short, or you will run aground. There's a buoy out there. Go around that buoy. Do not go on the inside of that buoy, or you will run your boat aground.
Go to the left of the rocks too, huh?
Yes, and you want to try to come straight out the middle of this. Because this sandbar right here runs way out, and this point runs way in right there. Try to stay right in the middle of that when you come out of there.
You talking about Alley Creek or Johnson Creek?
Alley. Up here, got friends of mine catching a bunch of fish. I've heard them catching fish up here around the 155 bridge. There's a lot of timber over on this side, all up through here. There's a lot of timber, I'm telling you. Watch what you do.
Okay, Paul is going to give us a seminar on timber fishing.
I know a lot of y'all probably already heard this spiel before, but there's a lot of new faces in here. I'm going to talk for about 20 or 30 minutes on how and why I fish standing timber. I guide on Ray Roberts in Lake Louisville, and I basically fishing in March and April. I really hate it. Fish are so unpredictable. These fronts keep moving fish in and out. And I prefer it after they spawn and it warms up and they move out to deeper water because they're easier to catch. And I'm not a very good fisherman, so I have to do that. But I fish standing. I am a good net man. I fish with an 8-foot pole with a bass reel on it. This happens to be a Wally Marshall reel. I really like it. It's a low profile. You can fish with whatever you like. I'm not saying you can't fish with a spinning reel, just whatever you're comfortable with. But to me, an 8-foot pole, when I get close to a tree, I can fish all the way around it. I've tried it with a 10. I don't like it as well. I've tried it with a 6 and 7. It's not quite long enough, but an 8 is perfect for me. And when I fish standing timber, I vertical fish straight up and down. I go straight up and straight down. And the way I do that, like right now, fish would be shallow, so fishing standing timber, most of the fish wouldn't be probably that deep if they're shallow. But after May, mid-May, after they spawn, they'll move out to the timber. First place they usually go is on timber that is in 10 to 20 foot water, and they will suspend out there, and they may be 3 foot deep around those trees in 20 foot water. And as it warms up and gets later in the year, instead of them moving out to deeper water, they go down. They just get deeper around the trees. And I've fished Ray Roberts for the last 6 or 7 years now, and very, very seldom do I ever fish in the summertime over 20 foot deep. I don't like to fish that deep, because if you do, when you do catch them, you usually kill them. They'll die on you. You better have a cooler to put them in. A lot of times I turn my fish loose. But in order to find trees, I look for, when I'm fishing standing timber, isolated trees, like if you're going down a bank and you have 4 or 5 trees sitting out there just by themselves. Well, I'll pull up there to it. If it's 15 foot water, I'm going to fish it, because when those fish pull out from the bank, they're going to pull out to that first timber they find usually. And if it's deep enough to hold fish, I'm going to fish it. And those 4 or 5 trees are little isolated areas for those fish to run to. And all those fish are doing is going out to those trees and waiting to ambush something. It's usually shad. Shad are doing the same thing. They're moving out away from the banks too. And those fish get around those trees. And if there's fish around the trees, there's bait fish around the trees. A lot of times I drive around on my graph and look to see if I see bait fish. Or you see bait fish flipping on top of the water sometimes. You ever notice that? Usually that's a good place, because it's a good sign there's fish around there. I like to fish tree rows, like a point coming off a lake. There's an arm coming out there. I'll go up there and start in that shallower stuff. But I work my way out till I find, all right, I caught a fish. I was in 12 foot of water, and I caught that fish 8 foot deep. Well, I'll fish it on out, and it's just steadily getting deeper and deeper. Well, I quit catching fish when it got to 20 foot. Well, I got a pattern established, 10 to 20 foot. Always take your pole and just do this right here. One time. Boom. About every 5 or 6 seconds. Boom. And then raise your line up a little bit with your hand. Boom. Find some different depths. Keep doing things different. But always remember what you did when you caught the fish.